Welcome back to the channel, fight fans. Today we're diving deep into one of the wildest rumors hitting the combat sports world, a potential boxing matchup between UFC legend Conor McGregor and YouTube sensation turned pro wrestler Logan Paul. Potentially set in the heart of India with the backing of one of the wealthiest families in the world, this matchup is potentially intriguing but definitely stranger than fiction. Join us as we peel back the layers. We'll explore the intrigue, some of the skepticism, and the sheer spectacle of what could be an interesting fight or just another media diversion and broken promise from the Mac. Conor McGregor was once the king of the octagon and now aims to put some of the negative headlines behind him. With legal battles in the rear view and a skeptical public watching closely, can Conor McGregor pull off this rematch with relevance? Will this bout help salvage some of his broken reputation? Or will this just be another broken fight promise like we've seen 100 times before? Conor McGregor took to X on December 17 to tell the world that he has agreed to face Logan Paul in a boxing match in India, backed by the Ambani family. McGregor emphasized that this was a preliminary agreement and that he would return to the UFC octagon after this bout. The Ambani family is known for their immense wealth and their influence in India. They are reportedly interested in hosting this event, which adds a significant layer of intrigue and a whole lot of financial backing to the potential fight. This move is seen as a broader strategy by the Ambani family to elevate India's status on the global sports map. These two are two of the most famous people on the planet. They would definitely attract a lot of eyes, and no matter how you feel about the bout, a lot of people are going to tune in to watch it. So it does make a lot of sense. They've got the money. They would love to bring the attention to India. The announcement has stirred considerable buzz, but also quite a bit of skepticism. Many fans and commentators are questioning the legitimacy of the fight due to McGregor's history of announcing and then not following through with the fight. There's also a debate on whether this would benefit the UFC or if it's just a publicity stunt. We know that Conor McGregor's philosophy is always keep your name in the headlines. He just had his name in the headlines for a whole lot of terrible reasons. Throwing some fight news out there could get people talking about something else other than the sexual assault case and all his sponsors leaving him. With the Ambani family backing this, there's also quite a bit of money being infused into this. There's talks that they could be breaking in as much as $250 million purses. I mean, I don't know it's you, but I couldn't say no to that kind of money. That's kind of insane. I know Connor's rich already, but that's ridiculous. Jake Paul, Logan's brother, has thrown his skepticism into the mix, suggesting that McGregor's management has been keen to negotiate fights with the Paul brothers and then back out. He's indicating that McGregor might be washed and needing the Pauls to stay relevant. And there could be some harsh truth in that statement, to be honest. We know that Connor's best years are behind him. For someone who rose to the heights of stardom that he did, I'm sure it's got to be pretty hard to let go of that. Reports suggest that McGregor alone could earn a massive $250 million for this fight. Although no specifics about Paul's earnings have been disclosed, I'm sure he's going to rake in quite a bit of money too. Conor McGregor is still under contract with the UFC, which means that any fight outside of the UFC or MMA in general would require UFC President Dana White's approval. There's speculation that this could be the big surprise that Dana White hinted at for 2025. McGregor is currently still under contract with the UFC, which includes exclusive rights to his fighting engagements. For McGregor to participate in any combat sports event outside of the UFC, especially boxing, he would need explicit permission from the UFC and, by extension, Dana White. This was clearly stated by Chael Sonnen, who noted that McGregor ain't doing dick if the UFC says no regarding fighting without the UFC's approval. There is some precedence with McGregor fighting outside of the UFC. The UFC had previously allowed Conor McGregor to box Floyd Mayweather in 2017, a crossover event that was highly successful and generated significant amount of revenue for all parties involved. This precedent shows that under the right conditions, the UFC would be open to such a venture, although it was co-promoted by the UFC. And given that Logan Paul is associated with WWE, which, like the UFC, is under TKO Holdings umbrella, there's a possibility for a collaborative promotional effort between the UFC and the WWE for this event, which could be potentially very lucrative for all parties involved, especially since Paul's Prime Hydration drink is an official UFC sponsor, suggesting a business synergy. Dana White has been historically very skeptical about his fighters, especially top stars like Conor McGregor, participating in boxing matches outside of the UFC. His primary concern has been about protecting the UFC's interests, ensuring that fighters don't dilute their brand or get injured outside of the organization. However, he's not opposed if there is a significant financial upside or strategic benefit for the UFC. Or in this case, if Conor needs to repair some of his reputation, fighting somebody very popular like Logan Paul, you'd get a lot of people talking about that instead of the sexual assault thing. There is a noticeable distinction in the relationship with the Paul brothers and Dana White. He has a much more amicable relationship with Logan as opposed to Jake. They've partnered. The UFC has partnered with Prime, whereas he has publicly clashed with Jake over various issues, including Jake's criticism of UFC fighter pay. McGregor's involvement in any boxing match would likely require Dana White's direct involvement or approval, given that McGregor's importance to the UFC brand. This control aspect was highlighted in the discussions around the event, with White's approval being a critical factor for McGregor's participation. If the event could generate substantial revenue similar to the McGregor-Mayweather fight, White might be more inclined to greenlight it. The Ambani family's involvement hints at a potential lucrative deal for all parties, which could sway Dana White's decision. There's a debate on whether such events serve as a distraction or as an opportunity. While some see it as a cash grab, others view it as a chance to expand McGregor's and by extension the UFC's global brand, especially in markets like India. There's been a significant backlash from his recent sexual assault case where he lost several sponsors. This could be Conor's chance to bury that story and let the public talk about him for some other reason. And just an overall effort to salvage his reputation as a whole. McGregor has been dealing with legal challenges, including a sexual assault case where he was found liable, affecting his public image and potentially the promotion of the fight. In case if you missed it, go check out our other video breaking down his most recent sexual assault case. Logan Paul is more known for his YouTube fame, WWE stints, and previous boxing exhibitions, including a notable one against Floyd Mayweather. His involvement in such a high-profile fight with McGregor would be another step in his crossover from social media to combat sports. There has been a bit of a twist in the narrative with the reports suggesting that Jake Paul might be the one to fight McGregor instead of Logan, leading to divided opinions among fans about which matchup would be more interesting or viable. I think, in my opinion, Jake is the superior boxer. He's shown a higher level of boxing against more formidable opponents. McGregor has been seen hyping up the fight, emphasizing the clash of UFC versus WWE, suggesting it could be a significant event if it were to materialize. While McGregor has announced preliminary agreements for a boxing match with Logan Paul in India, the fight's actual occurrence is still up in the air due to logistical, contractual, and public perception issues. The involvement of the Ambani family adds a unique twist, but skepticism persists due to McGregor's history and the complexities of the arranging such a crossover event. Fans and observers will continue to watch for official confirmations or further developments. So let's talk about if it were to actually go down. I do think that it's pretty interesting. If we just look at their size, Logan Paul is about 6'1". He's about 205 pounds. Conor McGregor is 5'9", 170 pounds. He usually fought at 155. He has fought at 145 early in his career, so he's given up a lot of size to move up and fight Logan. And Logan has shown to be a pretty formidable boxer himself. He held his own against Floyd Mayweather. Floyd said he didn't train for that fight, and that might be true, but he's still one of the greatest boxers of all time. Pretty impressive what he did in that fight, and he actually came out swinging hard early on in that fight. So the Pauls are big, man. Logan and Jake, they're big, they're strong, and they're legitimately talented. So I think this could actually be a somewhat dangerous bout for Conor. It could also be looked at as somewhat of an exhibition fight. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what way they're looking at it. But that's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning into the show. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, fight fans. Hey, fight fans, if you're as passionate about MMA, the UFC, and all things Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as we are, you're in the right place. Here on the Fight Files, we dive deep into fight breakdowns, the latest news, and everything you need to know about the fight game. So don't miss out on the action. Hit that like button to support the channel, and smash the subscribe button so you never miss a beat. Turn on the notifications and join our fight family. Let's keep the conversation going.